Hi, welcome to One Word Today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our summer special program, diving in one single Chinese characters a day instead of 4, 3, or 5 different Chinese expressions. So make it short and sweet. I've been enjoying doing this a lot because it allows me some leisure time almost to look at one single Chinese character close up and make some comparisons of relevant because sometimes we don't understand something just by looking itself. We have to understand, we have to see something else, and then we look back. Then that makes sense to us. This is an example of today's 师. 师 means army. It also means teacher eventually. Okay, army was the original meaning. It's left and right structure. And I'm showing you kind of similar but different looking things. Here's how it's made up. The left side means connected individuals, kind of a collective individuals that the government can control. You can see here, this character means official. Pronounced as a guan, so it's a government, like the emperor assigned official to govern a region or district. And so this dome thing with a chimney means the region, right, is defined as a boundary. And then with the chimney means it's artificial, it's human involved, it's not a natural thing. And so anything under the cover of there with human population or households or head counts connected of them. I don't want to go to like this almost like, incurring slavery back then, like people kind of hand in hand have to tie it up together, kind of don't really have their freedom. Not in that sense, but somehow these people are definitely registered, controlled on a government book as part of the resources, just like contemporary societal organizations, right? Like we got our social security number, we are registered, where we are, how much we make, government knows. So in the back, then it's the same idea. That's what counts. Like these people registered as a crowd, even if I translate it eventually as a crowd, but it's registered crowd, like crowd under watch, or have tax contribution, or in time of war, you have to draft, you have the responsibility to defend your country or community over there. So this is what that is. That means registered population. And then the right side, okay, one is going upward. It make a visual sense. That means a plant growing on the ground. And Chinese use plant growing on the ground as abstract referral. Because just like in English, we have this. This is the language variable word. It's kind of like X in mathematical language. It's something undefined. And then its particular value or things can be then defined to carry a value, right? It's a variable. It's not defined upfront. It's not a constant, definitely. So it's something changeable. You can feel that. It's almost like a container. You can fill that with different things. So this is a linguistic container that you can just refer to that. You can point this. You don't need to say what you can say this, right? So that's a variable. Now, you see here, it goes upside down. So when it's a mirror image, almost like a reflection of it, vertically mirror image, Chinese language creators use this flipping of icons to create a special meaning. A lot of times it means negation. So when this like a point here, which came from this ground growing plant, we just refer a plant as this. We don't need to go to detail like what particular plant that is. And eventually, like it's no longer a plant, it can be anything boxed in that language variable, right? So when we flip it upside down, that means negation of this. That means anything else but this. Okay, so it's a logical negation of this. And what? Everything else but this? That means everything else surrounding this. And then this character means surrounding. Take a moment to absorb the ingenuity of language creators to create a concept using flipping to create negation and have this negate this as surround this, anything else but this. Therefore, it's surrounding this. Okay, so now we have surrounding, and then we have registered population. I translate it as a crowd surrounding. This means army because it got to have enough registered population, which is probably people organized to be drafted into army to fight for you, and the enough people for you to surround your enemy. So this surrounding, enough people, population surrounding something, then become army unit, 2,500 people, according to scholars. I don't exactly know. So 2,500 people was considered a shi, an army unit. And eventually this just become random, just like lots of specificity generalized into being army or troops. And then there was a twist of plot. It became teacher. How does that work? I'm envisioning this. So the teacher is somebody who is not exactly preaching, but sharing knowledge, wisdom with a group of people. So it's one person surrounded by a group of students. That's how it's done, right? So this one person surrounded by a group is kind of similar to this besieging, a military maneuver of surrounding your enemy with enough people, a crowd around it, right? So this a crowd surrounding this one person then inferred to be that's a teacher. Because I would imagine in later days, this army surrounding was not as often or visible to the general population in peace times, when teacher, like surrounded by student, more commonly seen, right? So eventually this surrounding by a crowd extend into teacher. Okay, so now we have teacher, we have, I guess a shi is a unit of measurement of many people, right? So that becomes division. And then teacher, as I explained, master, same, example, same. So we have a 教师, means have the teaching, and then surrounded, this is shi character, right? And then we have master, we have 师傅. 师傅, Westerners must have listened to this a lot because in martial art, people address their teacher, their master, as a 师傅. And this 师 is this people surrounding them character. And then fu, we'll talk about it another time because I forgot how that came into being. Okay, and then I can be expert, right? Because you're the master of something and then you're the expert of that. That's just a logical extension. And then we have example, because the teacher is the one who know it first and then set example for students to follow. So that's another logical extension. And model, I guess this one I don't get to see that often. I guess occasionally I can mean, because model and example can be a logical extension as well, right? Because it just set an example and then all the later followers are going to follow the same mode from it. So that can the whole thing all come from the surrounding by a group of people, this registered population, and then extend into teacher, master, mode, or expert, like all can be deduced from the previous or original meaning. So army was the one of the most still in existence of the meaning, like was still in use. Wait, no, actually army was the original meaning. It wasn't in use as much because we only have an ancient classical Chinese passage that use shi as army. Probably because back then the shi was still like regarded as military unit, but in contemporary, we do have shi as army as well. We do have that still as a measurement because we have a jun, we have a shi. Anyways, it means crowd surrounding something, and just enough crowd to surround the enemy, 2,500 of them. So that becomes army. 是. Okay, catching intelligence of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you next.